Theme song.
Bip, bip, ting.
Oh man, this game makes you question all your sexualities.
I was gonna say this because, like, now that I'm no longer with it, I just keep getting like these weird fucking fan art strata, like on Twitter.
Right.
You know, where I'll just be like scrolling through, and then suddenly it's just like this guy's abs a bunch, and I'm assuming other characters from like this game.
Oh yeah, dude. No,
And then,
every
like,
character
there'll
in
just
this
be
game is
this
gorgeous.
big pile of fucking anime girls I don't recognize, and I wind up having to fucking, you know, follow weird, you know, vintage anime enthusiasts slash perverts, in order to get like, you know, pictures of anime shit that I recognize. So yeah, it's fun being able to actually go, oh, this is where like this guy comes from.
Now this is one of my, like, a friend gifted me this game because it's her favorite game.
I call him Gatos.
She really wanted me to play it, and good lord, it is fun to play. So it's this is the standard sword, standard light attacks, standard hard attack, and he's got this little blood thing.
Okay.
Comes out, goes back.
Come back, blood thing.
So he is the son of Hades,
Okay.
and he wants to escape from hell, basically.
I kind of like, I don't like the sort of like fucking Abrahamic encroachment onto, you know, Hades, because like, this isn't hell as we'd understand it. Like,
I don't think they call it hell. I think I'm
Yeah.
just
Well, I
calling
mean,
it
like,
hell
you know,
for reference.
there
But I
was
understand
a
what you
punishment area, but there was also like the Elysian Fields were the nice place, and they were in the same, like, you know, they were a suburb of the same city.
That's in the game.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Because there's this focus on it being a place of, you know, punishment, like, you know, Satan or whatever. And that's just not what, you know.
I accept this message.
Hail, noble cousin. Now, let's get you from that miserable place. I'll see that all of us upon Olympus do our part, beginning here with me.
Thanks, Athena.
Was your owl like fucking Siri or some shit?
Hey, Owl.
Yeah.
Tell me the
Oi.
time.
Yeah.
What? Fuck off. Boons of Athena. Alright. So define strike.
Boon is just a very funny word to me.
Boon. Your attack
Yeah.
is stronger and can deflect. Your cast. So that was that blood thing.
Yeah.
Damages foes in a small area and can deflect. And divine dash. Your dash deals damage and can deflect. Divine dash is fucking great.
No, you can't hear me all the way where you are, goddess.
So that's like you can dash often.
Right.
So deflection plus like
Yeah, being
Armor?
able to scoot around and like having the scoot destroy bullets.
low fathoms.
This is fat guy hell.
So
Like,
those are traps.
yeah,
right.
I guessed.
Now you can trigger them and they do hurt enemies,
That's good.
which
That's
I
nice
love.
and fair.
Like it's fair, yeah.
Mechathonic key. Wonder where I can use this.
So you get a
Uh-huh.
choice
Door hole,
between basically that gives you coin
Uh-huh.
of Charon.
and that gives you health.
That gives you
health.
That gives you a pizza. I call that a pizza. People get upset for me calling it a pizza because it's a pomegranate.
It's a pizza
But
granite.
Look at it. It
It's-
looks like a slice of pizza.
Yeah, well, that was the gods. You know, they could have a fucking pomegranate full of pepperoni. That's like no one. You know, what are you gonna say no to fucking Zeus? He'll turn into like a fucking, you know, armor set and molest you. Like that's you can't argue with him. He's the king of the gods.
Skull bit me, little
You know,
fucker.
he's got lightning, which means he's just allowed to do what the fuck ever.
Yeah, the Zeus situation is a little much.
A palm of power. They must
So you have a few things. Can I move it on the side? I
Iron
can't.
dash.
But at the top,
Uh-huh.
that's my general attack. So that's my light attack. Second one is my special attack. Third one's my
Your
cast.
blood bullet.
Last one's my dash.
Scoot.
So they're your general abilities. Every god can give you a different sort of tweak on your ability, and then the ones on the right are just sort of boons of additional things you'll see.
Boons.
Yeah, boons are very good in this game. You want the boons, as many boons as possible.
I could use. Some
Hopefully no
fucking
Ed boons. That box there, that goes kaboom.
Boons. Yeah.
absorb like lava.
That's
Very
why you
strong.
almost fell in that hole. Like, Can you fall in that
can
hole?
No, but you can go over it.
Okay. Because I have been dealing with fucking Brisbane real estate, which, and let me just say, like, I know it's not the worst in the fucking world. I know that in, like, fucking San Francisco, you pay, like, $1,000 a week to have, like, 5 bums raise their arms and form a teepee around you. And, like, the shower is them spitting on you. But, like, fuck, there's some just... Brisbane's got its own little things, you know? Like, the real estate website that isn't, like, official, but has just become so used that it's effectively the only place worth going. Like, you know, it's not like they don't run it exactly. Like, you know, there's, like, filtering, so it's not, I can't just go on there and pretend to own a house and, like, put it up.
Wait, which website is this?
Realestate.com.
Okay, right.
So, like, you know, there are some basic rules, but the thing is, like, you know, and while there is a skill and a value to what, you know, a good real estate agent does, there's not a lot of filtration to that as a career. You know, you're not talking about 6 years at uni to go around and point at a thing and go sink, you know? And, like, holy shit, you fucking realize that when you start looking at some of these real estate listings, because the agents are just, you know, just putting them up themselves. So there is, like, degrees of standardization, but then also sometimes there's just not. And it's just like, you know, there'll be 4 written as the word and not capitalized. And then, like, next to no description of the place. And just sort of like one picture of the outside of it that looks like it was taken in 1985. And, you know, a quick look at, like, fucking Google Maps indicates, yeah, like, something's happened in between then and now. This place doesn't look like, you know, it does here, and it doesn't look like it does there, so I don't know what the fuck it's gonna look like when I actually show up at the fucking place.
Dilapidated, usually.
Oh, man, like, I got up at fucking 7:45 today to go see one at, like, 9 o'clock. You know,
That's
it was
early, bro.
Yeah, it was a 4-bedroom place, and that's why I go, you know, we got 4 people, so it's like, oh, that's good. And then I get there, and it has 3 bedrooms. And if it weren't for the fact that, like, the lady had struggled to get in. So we got there at 9, and we're waiting, and the woman is at the door trying the fucking keys for, like, 15 minutes. And then eventually goes, oh, it's my first day. And then she's trying to call, like, the people who live there who might know how to, like, actually open the fucking door. And it's like, there are bits in Brisbane that are just fucking insane. Like, they just look like, you know, the last fucking 100,000 years haven't happened. It's just, and particularly after it's been raining like this, all the life has just exploded. So, the place looks like a pocket of Jurassic Park. And you can just hear, like, you can hear insects, birds, like, just the footfalls of various things just going on around you. And it's not like we're in the middle of buttfuck. Like, we're just out of fucking Holland Park. So it's not like we're just fucking, you know, some mystery fucking, you know, shrub. There's just places like this in the urban environment in this town. And, like, I'm sitting looking at this place, and there's, like, for some reason the people who live there have chickens, so there's just chickens walking around.
Excellent.
Yeah. And, like, you know,
Wait, the people who are renting it?
Yeah. Like,
Excellent.
So, like,
They let them have chickens?
Yeah, they'll show houses even while cunts are still occupying, which I don't think's right and I hate. But, like,
I hate it too, yeah.
Look, you know, I have to go look at this place, so that's just the fucking, you know, the way of it. And so we go there, it's like, I'm looking at it, it's like, okay, this place absolutely, there's a corner of this yard that is absolutely just the spiders.
Ooh, Dionysus.
You know, like, that's the spiders' corner. And there's probably, like, a whole chicken in it right now.
Oh,
so,
fun.
like, she can't get in, and I get bored and just go around the back, because I at least want to see what the backyard of the place looks like. And so my housemate comes around with me, and then the lady comes around the back to try and, like, use more keys on the back door or whatever. And we're just downstairs, and, like, my housemate starts fiddling with one of the doors and just manages to open it.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we break out of the house, like, to, you know, and then the real estate agent lady is like, oh, thank God. I is just happy that my housemate's genetic criminal proclivities fucking opened this place up for her.
That's his passive talents at work, mate.
Yeah, you know.
That was revelry.
Well, he's like fucking, I don't know. He's a long way off from it, but he's like fucking of Sicilian extraction, so, you know, he's one of the rare ginger Sicilians, which is just a terrible combination for criminal enterprises.
Dionysus is the man. His shit
I
is
mean, they
great.
shouldn't be giving him abs though. Like Dionysus was a fat dude. Like he was a big fat party animal, man.
He is the god of wine.
I mean, you can have abs if you want to, if you're a god, I suppose. Like the shape is irrelevant.
An
Like,
after party's fucking broken. If your HP is low after encounters, restore to the threshold, and the threshold on the epic roll is 50%.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
So if I just go back to half health if I'm low.
Also, like Dionysus would send women into batshit fits, and you had to fucking avoid them. And like they used.
Wait, what? Like, how would he send them into these fits?
Oh, like, yeah, no, they were like, I can't remember the name of them exactly, but they were like these specific fucking lady followers of Dionysus. And it's hard to sort of pass some of this, like, because people will say, oh, it's just like, you know, men being like jerks to women. And look, yeah, some of that is there, but also I've seen, you know, I've worked liquor service enough to see what women are like when they get on the fucking piss hard. And like, you know, if you want to like send a fucking shiver down, you know, a bouncer's fucking spine. If you want to fucking scare the shit out of a bartender, you know, you say hen's night.
Oh, God.
And it's just like, it's immediate. So like, I tend to think that these, you know, you strip away even more of society. You make the women a little more angrier. You make it, you know, you send us back to a time when like, you know, kids had died regularly and everything was just rape and murder. And the suggestion that there was a particular wine god that would send all the local aunties into an eye-ripping frenzy is just not that far fucking fetched, okay?
Well, that one hurt.
Yeah. So we're pouring around this fucking place, and I'm like, okay, like, look, you know, and it's great because there's a few families there, and immediately there's stuff that frightens families, which is great, like spider enclaves and like water damage in the roof and shit. They're all thinking about, like, oh, you know, this doesn't make it look like a bad place. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I can live like this. It's fine. Because the rest of the place is largely okay. There's even a jacuzzi, but also taking one look at it, it was like, okay, there is absolutely a blob monster that lives in the jacuzzi. And he's not dangerous, but just he constantly tries to make eye contact and talk. And it's like, you don't want that. And so I'm looking around. It's like there's a good lounge room that's kind of in this little downstairs area, and it's got a good space. There's a separate lounge room. There's a separate like dining room that's near the fucking kitchen, and that's good. There's a fucking, you know, there's bedroom 1. Okay, it's a bit small, but that's fine. Bedroom 2, a bit bigger. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Bedroom 3. Separate toilet, separate bathroom. Huh. All right, well, where's bedroom fucking 4 then? So I'm pouring about this fucking place. Can't fucking find it. Upstairs. I go through bedroom 3. There's a little door out the back of bedroom 3. Through that door of bedroom 3 is, quote, bedroom 4. Now, that is not, you know, what... You know, it's like describing one of my inner sphincters as another asshole. It's like, no, it's a separate fucking thing. Because, like, the asshole has to lead to outside of me. For it to be a bedroom, the door has to lead to, like, the house. Not, I can't be walking through a fucking bedroom to get to my fucking bedroom. Because that's not a fucking bedroom.
Excuse me, sorry, I'm see you're having sex. Yeah. I just need to get to my room.
Yeah. When I got to rush past you fucking like that, we call it a root scoot. Sorry, just got a root scoot. Don't mind me.
Also, you can pet Cerberus.
Well, that's the point. I mean, you know.
He's our good dog.
Shut up.
Shut up, father. I'm going to escape. Fuck you.
Shut up.
It's not
Dad.
a phase.
And it's like, you know, I've had so many experiences over the past couple of weeks where I just kind of want to not yell at the real estate agent exactly, but just be very sarcastic with it. And like, the only reason I didn't do it to this one was like she was already having a panic attack because it's like her first day and she wasn't able to, you know, open the door. Which for a real estate agent is a fairly big fuck up, you know? Like if you're showing a house, opening the doors are like that's, you know, fairly important part. I say it's so important they probably don't even put it on the test.
I'm grateful that you put us into contact. I know you took a considerable risk in reaching
Fuck,
out.
that just fucking killed me.
The risk is not to me. I expected the Olympians.
She's got some fucking rad hair going on, man.
She does.
Reveal to them no more than they already know.
Like, you look at some of these places on the fucking website, and like, there was one. It was like 7 bedrooms, and again, that's a good place to find to rent, because nobody who has enough kids to warrant 7 bedrooms has weird Mormon business contacts that mean they can already afford to buy a house that has 7 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So the only people who want to rent a 7-bedroom place are share house people or like, I don't know, demented ferals. This place looked way too nice for demented ferals. So like they're not going to rent to demented ferals. You know, I have clear eyes and use big words and I operate a share house great, so that's fine. And you're reading through it and it's like, oh, this is all good. And then you get to like the bottom, and again, like they write this shit themselves. They're not just clicking stuff, which in some ways is good and in some ways is holy shit bad. Because you get to the end and it's like, you know, there's like a shed out back that you can use. And shed's capitalized, which I thought was a bit fucking, like why? You know, is it necessary to capitalize shed? And, you know, to be honest, no, it fucking, you do not have to capitalize shed. And so I was a bit, like, fucking suspicious, you know, about that one. Yeah. So, like, at the bottom it goes, the shed is available for use. And it's like, okay. And then directly beneath that, downstairs is not available. In brackets, currently a lawyer's office. And, like, there's a fucking box on the fucking website where you can tick what kind of property you're looking for. You can just go any. You can go duplex. You can go shared living. You can go villa for some baffling fucking reason.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm looking to rent a fucking villa in Brisbane for just, you know, I don't know, a fucking night. But like, you know, I don't have any of those ticked because that's insane. I have house ticked. I don't have like portion of a fucking house ticked. And yet, here we are. Downstairs is current, and like, that should be at the top. Because you can't hide that in a meaningful way. I'm gonna notice.
I don't want to rent a thing where someone else is in the thing without me knowing, like, that's at the end. That's prominent information that needs to be
because there was
at the
another
start.
place, and I'm still annoyed that it showed up in my search at all, because again, I'm not trying to order a slice of pizza here. I have clicked house. There was one place that was like top half of house only. But it rather suspiciously didn't tell me what dwelled in the bottom half. You know, at least I know that this is a fucking law office that, let's face it, can't be doing well. Because when you really approach this idea, I don't live above a law office. A law office lives in some guy's basement. That's the fucking reality you're dealing with here. And like, I managed to sort of sell myself on this place for a little while. Because I'm sitting there, well, I'm thinking about it, it's like, you know, I've got like...
Maybe he's Daredevil and you can be his fucking...
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I'm home a lot. You know, I could sit just over here, like, law stuff, and then I could go out and solve mysteries. And like, I don't have a van, but I have a scooter and I can have a bus pass. And like, the great thing is like, when you're on the bus, that's when you can do your best deductions. Because like, you can't deduce shit in an office, Aaron.
No.
Like, I don't know how much time you've spent in a fucking office, but there's like, there's like dames and shit, and they're fucking a distraction. So like, I can sit there and I can overhear like, oh yeah, I just bought like, you know, the old fairground, but I think there's the ghost of a miner is haunting it. And then like, I go, all right. And then, you know, I'd be like cobbler elves that make people's shoes. I'd be solving this law officer's problems. And they wouldn't even know it was me, you know. And I'd do it for fucking free. I don't mind. I got the time. You know, that's what it's about. And that's, you know, they need to put that in the fucking description. Not like try to sneak in the fact that I'm fucking, you know, a fucking loser legal practices wacky upstairs neighbor.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I understand now.
That's just the places like, you know... There was one place that like, and the only reason I didn't get real sarcastic, I feel like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's because I just, like, this is another situation where I feel like the girl showing the place to us had been given this house to show as like an act of workplace bullying.
Right.
Because it 100% should have been burnt down. Like, and like the outside of it is kind of like wreckage, but you know, sometimes the outside's a bit shit, but the inside's okay. You know, a lot of the time when a place is going to spend money on it, you know, they'll do the inside because tarting up the outside's, you know, expensive and doesn't really, you know, end up adding much to the rental value. You know. So as we're going up the stairs, one of the front windows is just open, which is not a good sign. But like, all right, you know. And it's in like Lutwich, and it's sandwiched around all these kind of nice places. But like, that's kind of this weird side effect of the state's efforts to not create weird ghettos, where they just put like weird housing places just sort of in suburbs. And then just as a result of neglect, you just wind up with these melanoma homes that are just like shit house. And so we open the door, and the first thing the lady says is, we haven't been able to get the bond cleaners in. And it's like, okay, that doesn't explain anything I'm looking at. Because we step into what would have been a sunroom if, like, the omnipresent junky ghosts hadn't formed, like, this thick light-blocking miasma that turned the whole fucking place just sadness, proletariat grey. Yeah, in perpetuity, it was just grim. You know how they have, like, carpet squares?
Yeah.
They sell them in, like, bits so you can just click them into
the
places.
swatches, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, oh, we'll just, we'll make it nice and easy. This place had that, but each one had its own unique damage, filth, and length. So none of them were the same. And the result was looking at the back of a classroom full of feral kids. Like, it was just all these different fucking horrible little mullets that had, like, some different, like, caked on nonsense, and some were a bit long and some were, a bit short, but nothing fucking looked right. And then, like, I go through the fucking sunroom and around to the outside, and a lot of these places you can see where, like, what you'd call the original, structure would have been, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. There's a lot of places in Brisbane, like, one time it was, like, a worker's cottage or some shit. And then, like, they fucking built another house over that, basically, and then now it's got, like, some extra rooms and whatnot. So you go around the outside, and each room is, like, just individually a depressing little slice of misery. Like, one of the floors looked like it was repurposed super high bounce ball because it was just bright red with, like, weird flecks of sparkle in it. And I have no
great.
earthly clue how you could get this as a flooring material, let alone how it got in here.
I will keep fighting.
And I can only assume it was like, so if you dropped your fucking needle, it'd like just bounce off the ground and land back into your fucking vein. And then, I'm coming around the side of one of these fucking rooms, and there's just this alcove near, like, the side door. And it was once some kind of shower. And, like, I've seen places where, like, there are things that were showers that are no longer showers, and you can tell because there's, like, these little marks left over from where the holes that used to make the shower work, like the tap and where the water goes and where the water comes from and shit, where all that, like, sort of got sealed up and painted over and stuff. And you could tell that was the case here because nobody had bothered to seal up or paint over any of these holes. There were just these inky black fucking orifices crawling with spiders.
Oh, dude.
And again, like, I'm walking around this place trying, like, because the real estate lady is just being quiet. And it's like, yeah. Because, like, right
what can
now...
you say about the spider orifice?
Yeah, I know, because right now we have a silent agreement. Which is, this place is, like, fucking, Hepatitis's childhood home. And anything I say is going to take this kind of amusing, just fucking thing that's happening and turn it into a direct insult. Like, because if you try to sugarcoat any of this fuckhole, I'd have just got, okie dokie, sell this place to me. What can I do with this space?
Yeah, it's full on.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to do with that structural support junkie corpse? Like, every fucking bit of it was fucking heinous. And, like, it's cheap, but it's like, yeah, it's not that cheap. I mean, shit, like, I wouldn't have lived there back when I was drunk. The place is just ghastly. It was like anti-life.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, it is. Like, because I got friends that live in, like, fucking, like, 1 and 2 bedroom little fucking places in West End. And those are some fucky places.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about the potential for, like, junkie ghosts? Nah, they're there. Like, they are, like, these aren't, like, fucking, maybes. These are certainties. And, like, fuck, I mean, these days those places are practically homey. You know, this was the kind of place where like if I walked in one day and saw like just a bunch of people standing around like a barrel with a fire in it, I just wouldn't be surprised. Like it wouldn't even register as odd. The absence of it, in fact, registered as peculiar.
Should be handy.
The real estate lady going, oh yeah, don't mind them. They don't speak the government English, but if you give them some cheese every now and again, they'll look after your things while you're out.
Maybe you could have missed out, dude. You could have been living in fucking Studio Ghibli. They could have come out when you're sleeping and, you know, did magical things with you.
Oh man,
Like bite your skin and fucking dissolve your flesh.
That's Studio Ghibli by way of like fucking Junji Ito. Like the walls had skin flakes. You know, like it was just crusty. Is
I can
how
see
I
it.
define that place. And there was this fucking. We went out to like Green Slopes, and for starters, it was a place like on a main road, and it was like one of those fucking really just hostile main roads that wasn't meant to be a main road.
Yeah.
You know, and so everyone, it's like fucking 4 lanes now, but like it's an angry 4 lanes, and like people are parked on some bits of it, and like, you know, it's just. We were there on like a fucking. It's like a Saturday afternoon, and like, you know, it shouldn't have even been that busy, but it's busy. It's busy with people who are still like fucking, you know, the fucking rat race, fucking angry.
Yeah.
You know, and so there wasn't even a fucking scheduled inspection. You know, we're not there. We were just driving by to have a like fucking.
Yeah, Karen's dialogue is the best.
Why, good to see you, Charon, mate. Just minding my own business, taking in the sights, and hey, what's that you got? Some sort of wares for sale? And I'll just...
I love him. He's a great character.
Okay, that face and that noise, that was the place full of like junky ghosts that we looked at. Like just that, that was it.
Pleasure doing business.
So we're just literally walking by the front of this place to get an idea about whether or not we're even going to book this place. And like already we're like, because it's like on a fucking main road. You know, it's not. These aren't, and like these are bad places to live when you're an adult with actual things and stuff.
Come on, Meg. Haven't we had more than enough of each other?
But it's like it's kind of busy in there.
Besides, don't you have some
And,
place
you
else
know,
to
it's
be?
busy enough that we have to be careful crossing the road. And there's like some old Asian lady sitting at the bus stop, just seemingly waiting for death. And as we're fucking looking at this place, like I'm standing out front looking at it, just sort of, you know, already sort of dismissing it.
I'll have to go.
My housemate's kind of walking around the side to sort of get a better look at this. The old Asian lady that's sitting at the bus stop just gets up, starts like just walking. And like that doesn't sort of, you know, register to me as remotely important. Because like old people, and particularly like old Asian people, will just go for walks and will take pit stops at bus stops. That's just fucking normal. But this one walks to Tony and starts talking to him. And
Excellent.
They're a bit far away from me, so I can't quite hear what's going on, but she's like gesturing to him. And then she goes to like the gate of the place we're looking at and just opens it up and starts like, you know, doing the come here gesture with the hands. And again,
Oh, dude.
yeah, and now I'm kind of confused. And as I get closer, and like bear in mind, I've been awake all day and I'm just in a, you know, hateful fucking mood. So I have no energy to cope with what I think is happening here. And so this old lady, you know, and for a while I think she's just speaking with a real thick accent or something. As I follow my housemate and her into this yard of this place, I realize she's just speaking Mandarin.
Wow.
But she's doing it in that way where it's like, I don't know that she knows we don't understand her. Like she's just speaking in conversational Mandarin like we're gonna fuck, like I'm gonna know that. Like what do you... And she's just going, just pointing at things and talking about them. And I'm like, who knows? Was she just fucking sitting out here or some shit? Like, is that what's happening? Like, because she has to be. Otherwise, just letting us into this place is fucking insane. But also, why was she just hovering around?
Found a hidden quest giver.
Yeah. No, because like we went around the back of this fucking place and like the upstairs was closed and shit, but the whole downstairs was like this little... Like, because in order for a place to be a real place, it has to be a certain height. Like, there's rules in Australia about, like, you can't call it a bedroom if it's not, like, certain fucking, you know, upward link. And like, so there's this whole downstairs area that's not technically a fucking place, but is like 3 bedrooms and a lounge and some shit. And she's just walking through, again, like, just fucking unintelligible. And again, it's like she's, you know, because all the sounds and the cadence of language, and, you know, especially when you've got like the non-verbal shit, like gestures and stuff, to add to it, you know, have a degree of universality where you can kind of, like, she's pointing at things and talking about them, like, and, you know, you can piece together, it's like, okay, she's either having just an absolute breakdown or she's describing the features of this place.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, my housemate started following her into this fucking,
Oh, God.
I don't know,
Why
this
would you
underground.
follow?
Yeah, because he's like the nice one.
But they're like,
Yeah.
stranger danger.
I
Stranger
know.
danger.
I didn't feel like getting abducted to be, you know, the cabana boy for some illegal mahjong gambling, you know, syndicate. So I just left.
You know what you found? The start of a Yakuza game.
Yeah. I should have hung around because that old lady would have taught me a special move that gets me through doors.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, it's one of those situations where this doesn't have a lot of
Ow.
good answers. Like, she probably somehow was the owner and was just hanging out there by fucking chance.
That's weird, and the owner's not
because
allowed
that's
to give
weird.
tours.
No. And, like, the alternative, though, is we just met, like, the fucking house gnome? Like, because, like, you know that thing of, like, you know, Asian Chinese women, like, you know, just don't age between 20 and 60, and then, like,
Turbo
fucking,
age.
yeah, then, you know, menopause hits, and they turn into a peanut. Well, this was a peanut lady. Like, she looked like Hans Moleman. And, you know, the best part was, like, that place, it, like, literally the place next door showed up on, like, fucking,
Excellent.
yeah, the thing as well. And I kept telling my housemate that, like, it was just gonna look outside and he'd be able to see the old lady. And, like, you know, she'd just be sort of, like, out there waiting.
She knows.
Yeah,
Cheating.
she's gonna, like, you know, she's gonna take us to, like, the fucking forever realm.
No,
or
the
whatever
problem is,
shit.
it's on you, dude. When you were clicking, like, the make an appointment, like make a seeing appointment,
Yeah.
you accidentally ticked the fucking Mandarin option.
Yeah. Do you want to meet Madame Gao? No, you know. No, I don't. And then there's just, like, one place that we didn't look at for a few reasons, but one of them was, like, the picture they had of it. You know, all the pictures online were, someone had just uploaded the thumbnails. So they were all, like, tiny, and you click, you know how you click on it to make it bigger, and you click on it, and it's just, the field gets huge, and then
Yeah.
the picture is somehow even smaller.
Yep. I know exactly what you
Yeah,
mean.
so it was just that, and it's just like, all right, you know what? No.
You don't know. You haven't worked out computer.
Yeah.
So, oh, fuck off, Hydra cunt. Not Hydra cunt. That's a producer.
So, yeah, I fucking...
Also, fucking
all gone.
fuck off, noggin.
Like, I worry talking about it is going to summon her, like, solving a puzzle box or something. Like, I feel
if
like...
you fail a capture, she'll show up.
Yeah, like, I feel if, like, her fingers can just open things. Like, that's just the ability that she has. And then there was, like, one place we found that was good. Bit expensive, but, like, nice. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm happy to spend a bit more on my rent. If I live in a place where I don't have to think, is today the day I fall through the stairs because they give way beneath my weight? Like, you know, I'll fucking pay an extra $100 to live in that amazing paradise of luxury. And so, you know, we go in, we look around, it looks great. You know, the downstairs area that we want is like a little bit like short. Like, again, it's one of those ones that's not really a good spot, but it's like, look, there's enough for me to stick like, you know, my fucking bench press down there. And look, that's it. Great. Go through, fucking put the, you know, applications in. Woman calls me just to get a bit more ID. That's a good sign. It's like, yep, it's going through. Get an email that it's like going through to the next fucking phase, going to the property manager. Then we get a phone call. Well, you know, I get a phone call. It's like, hey, and it's like, yeah. And then basically, and it's like, there are times, you know, again, where like the thing that keeps me from being a sarcastic dick about this is like either the person I'm dealing with seems to acknowledge the situation or they're as annoyed about it as I am. Because basically, at the end of all of this, our application's gone through to the fucking thing, and they've gone, oh yeah, we only want to do like a 6-month lease with option to short. Because they're trying to make a bit of money to just like renovate it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no. And the woman is like, yeah, I know. I have tried to explain that nobody's going to do this.
Yeah.
And that, like, the best you could hope to get in that situation would be some of the sketchier share house people.
Yeah.
You know, you can get sketchy share house people for 6 months like that. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to have to drop the rent a bit.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a nice place, and you are absolutely going to have to drop the fucking rent a little bit.
Oh, what health.
And so she's like, yeah, I have, you know, I've tried to, you know, sat there and said to them, hey, this isn't, you're not going to get
Late dash.
this. This is just a waste of, and like, because they've sprung this on her. Like, because I asked when we were there, it's like, hey, what kind of, you know, lease are we looking at? And they go, well, it'd be yearly. And I'm like, well, that's okay, you know, I can work with that. So she's, you know, been thinking, oh yeah, we'll get like a year lease out of it. And this is like, no, we want like, you know, anything between 0 and 6 months. And, you know, she's just, because they've wasted her time now as well. Yeah, fuck you, death. You know, we're just like, the thing is, we're not done, you know? We're like fucking... Still got like fucking 4 places to look at tomorrow. Fucking... Hello? I just, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm so just annoyed with this process. You know, I kind of get it when those, like, middle-aged dudes just fucking kill themselves. People are like, wow, I didn't know they were depressed. And it's like, they weren't. They were just annoyed. Like, they weren't killing themselves because they were sad. They were just killing themselves because it's like, I'm annoyed with everything and I just want that feeling to go away. But the problem is the things that annoys me is everything. So I'm fucking done. I'm out. At the moment, I'm just thinking about, like, would they let me live in, like, a storage shed? Like, where's one in Australia that's kind of shit? You know, where's one in Brisbane where I can just, like, fucking, just let me sleep in the shed? You know, I'll walk around during the daytime. It's fine.
No, man. You're one of those, like, fucking tiny living spaces, you know, like the cube trailers. Some of those are fucking nice.
The problem is now I have shit. You know, like 10 years ago, that would have been easy.
Shit one.
Huh?
Fit your shit one. You get one big enough for your shit.
Where's that?
No, you like build it, you have it on wheels. It's a trailer.
Okay. Yeah, but like, what am I gonna like attach that to?
You don't need to attach it. You get to get some cunt to tow you to just a place. Just drop you off.
Okay, there's some cunt and a place. The kind of gaps that the last week has taught me to pay attention to. It's like, hey, do you want to rent a place? It's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Where's this one? Oh, you know, yeah, it's the fucking part in the back of an old businessman's head. Like, you just gotta snuggle in there. Like, you know, you want to live in the top half of a house? What's in the bottom half? Oh, we don't talk about that. What the fuck? Yeah, just live in a place with some cunt. Huh?
He calls himself SpongeBob Nair Pants.
Yeah.
And he just coats his legs in Nair completely and runs at anyone who tries to enter the room. He's very hostile. You can't get him out of there.
No.
Believe me, we've tried.
You say don't make eye contact, but he has glued googly eyes to every inch of his body. And I swear to God, he can see through those things. Because, like, one thing, you know, and again, there are lines, like, and it's not like, you're gonna be this fucking picky. It's like, look, I'm not picky, you fucking miserable butt fuck. It's the real estate agent, the real estate fucking situation in Australia is bad. Like, just in general, it's fucking bad.
It is. But also, you got to understand, people, you have to be picky, like, over the little things because you're living in this shit for a year plus. So, like, you don't want to move. People, we don't want to move. We want to move in a place, fucking save money, and just be grounded there.
I have a 9-year rental history where I have been like the most 4 days late 3 times.
Yeah.
That's money.
Yeah.
And again, like the thing is, like people going about, you don't have like, much in the way of employment like references. It's like, well, A, no fucking shit, look at the world. B, the fact that I can do this without employment makes me more reliable.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to worry about the people with kids and fucking shit because if they lose their job, they can't afford that
You know
place.
what? You should just start putting me down as a reference, as a work reference, because it fucking technically is. I mean, I can
Yeah, but then I got to like have, provable fucking this and that.
prove it. We got Patreon. We got all the invoices are there
Yeah, I
and shit.
suppose,
Like it's
actually.
completely above board.
That's a good point. I always forget about it. It just feels so wrong. It doesn't feel real is a big problem. Like this doesn't feel like a thing. Like granted I spent fucking ages writing, which is it doesn't feel like it if you're reading it at the end because you're like, oh yeah, that how hard was it just to write that? But you got to understand a lot of writing is not writing. Like that's something something a lot of people don't fucking understand. Is a lot of it is sitting there going, all right, fuck, what do I do now? What do I start? Like how do I get a fucking angle on this or a sentence?
Yeah.
I mean, it is toil. Last few weeks have been brutal though, because it's just like you have like a fucking inspection at like 9, and then you got one that's like a half hour away, but like at 10, like 15. So it's just like, all right, we got to drive out there and just wait for a half hour because we can't go home. And then so you've spent like the whole day out of the house to see like 3 places, and it's just like by the time you get home, it's just like I just want to commit a crime and go to jail. You know what jail has? Organization. There are rules in jail and they're followed. I don't have to worry about like fucking shit in lowercase. I know I'm going to be sharing a place with a person. They're not going to fucking go, oh yeah, by the way, you're
I
living
get
above.
bummed every Tuesday at 9:45. It's nice. It's routine. There's no eye contact. It's all above board.
Now the trick is, man, you go in there the first day, you do the bumming.
Yeah.
And that's
You
it.
turbo
Yeah.
bum.
Yeah. I'm doing the bumming, and then just like a bunch of
Imagine that
prisoners who are
everyone's-
probably like, look, it's not like it is on TV, okay? There are like 8 gay dudes here, and that's fine, but like, we're not all just bum crazy
Just
maniacs.
imagine sitting down to lunch. Everyone's sitting in this giant thing. There's 300 people there,
I
and just
do
standing
the
up,
bumming.
Spartacus style. I'm doing the bumming, and there was just, and then someone else stands up. No, I'm doing the bumming.
Like, it's not
Oh, there you go. There's an idea for a porno movie, right
parts
there.
of it fucking, like, the sad thing is parts of it appeal. It's just like, because, like, we got to move out of, like, fucking the 15th of fucking, January. Shit's fucking, like, oh, yeah. So there is one place. And so the lady called me when we went and saw it. And you got to, like, you got to register and shit. So, like, they give numbers and whatnot. The girl called me and was like, so do you have any questions? Which is thirsty real estate agent for, please live here. And it's close. Like, the thing is, it's one of those ones where, like, if there were a few little differences to this place, I'd have jumped on it in a fucking heartbeat. The thing is, it's smaller than our current place, and it has, like, more bedrooms. It's the place, I call it the domain of the Mirror Lord. Because it used to be 2 separate, like a duplex, right? So it's like 2 mirror houses.
Right.
And then someone's just gone mental and knocked a wall down. And rather than have 2 small houses with 3 bedrooms, which you could rent separately and would be useful to a human being, it's just one big house with 2 kitchens. Because who hasn't wanted back-to-back fucking kitchens and no lounge space whatsoever?
No one.
Yeah. And it's deranged. And, like, don't get me wrong, it's cheap. It's not far away. There's, like, little cafe district and shit nearby and a shop and whatnot. So it has qualities. But the novelty of 2 kitchens is not worth there is, like, no actual other fucking space. Like, it has a balcony on the fucking website. And then you go out into the balcony, and the balcony is, like, just me deep, Like, it's an outside, and, like, it's a balcony in that it's, like, a bit of wood over the grass, but it's over the grass by, like, less than 15 centimeters because it's on a fucking hill.
Yeah.
And so, like, the slope of the hill it just eradicates it. Like, it's a bizarro balcony because I'm just looking at ground.
Much like Brisbane and the city and the suburbs and everything, houses here, a lot of cunts just go, hey man, this house, let's completely ruin it. And we'll make this there like this, and now this there like that. We built around it. You didn't need to do that. It was perfectly fine. Oh, we got bored. Fucking.
Yeah, like, again, if I wouldn't be living in there anyway because, we've got more than 3 people, but 2, for a lot of people, a little place like this, it's small but it's cheap and it's like near shit, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's good. You know, that's great. And now it's just a kind of weirdly shaped bit with like 2 fucking kitchens, and it's like that's not. Nobody needs 2 kitchens that doesn't also need the more space that you'd. You know, like if you need 2 kitchens, you need 2 lounge rooms or like a big fucking rumpus or some shit. You know, not like this weird fucking cleft of an under the house with a bunch of shit strewn in it.
Did it at least have a what's the word for it? I can't remember the technical term.
Then use the not technical. Crudely describe it using
Did it have
gestures and clicks.
Did it have the kangaroo shield?
Yes.
All right, well that's good at least. Like you've got to at least have the kangaroo shield.
Well, it was in one of those bits of Australia that's like suburban but not suburban enough that they've been eradicated. So like
Dude.
you got to have the blockers in place.
You've got to because they're getting buff and they're taking over the city. And
People keep throwing out their protein powder.
it's bad. It's
telling ya.
filtering into the feed. Dude,
They get amongst it.
I saw one, no joke, that was just walking through the city the other day and just slapped a woman in the ass. He couldn't do shit.
No, you just allow
The kangaroo didn't even know what it was doing. It just saw it. It mimicked because it got the protein. It got swole.
Skippy has had many accusations leveled against him these days. It's kind of sad.
Classy is proudly sponsored completely by its fans. We thank you for your support.
It expanded somehow. I'll have you know